Welcome back to the I Exist to Site pod. I Exist to Site. Site. I Exist to Site
What the fuck,
podcast.
Right.
Where we talk about whatever we want to. This is such a. हो गया भाई हो गया
Yes,
सही
fuck
सही
up the
start.
first, fuck up the first part of the first episode of the second,
Exactly.
Second
Okay, so
season.
for
Very good
those,
then.
I know in the last episode I said we're gonna take a short break, and then it ended up being like what 4 months.
Not
Yeah.
so short.
Yeah, but we're back now, and I guess no one cares. No one really cares that we take a break of 4 months. If we did like 4 years, they wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But we're back, and
As
because
long as you're self-aware, then.
just for context, like 2 minutes ago, I was talking about numbers and getting views and stuff. When I turned this record button on, all of my insecurities like अंदर का ज़हन निकल जाता है जो so like dead inside. So
The two brain cells working really hard to pronounce words and they still fuck up.
exactly.
What are we to assume Zen has any brain cells?
That's just it's not tasteful anymore. So what did we want to talk about?
And so the 4 months, the short while you were away, a huge amount of stuff has gone down.
Yep.
And,
Oh, did you guys see the thing? I predicted something, so it came real. I in one of the episodes where I was saying कि शाह महमूद क्या नाम है इसका? What's the guy?
Foreign minister.
No, not the foreign minister, the education minister. What's his name? Shafqat Mahmood.
Shafqat Mahmood.
Pakistani students voted him sexiest man alive, and they actually started voting him sexiest man in Asia.
Yeah, literally, I do not understand. I cannot with like people. First of
Let
all,
me look
he
that
was,
up.
like, sexiest man alive और ये and वो और फिर उसके बाद he like voted to like have the papers actually happen and they were like fuck this guy and whatnot and now they're back to like loving him.
Still,
But,
for inter students, he did really
Nice.
good.
हाँ, अब they're back to hating him now क्योंकि O levels के papers हो रहे हैं जून जुलाई में.
Yes,
sort
what
of
do
weird.
these kids want? Do they like not wanna like study at all? Mat padhe, like save your money, quit school then.
I'm googling Shafqat Mahmood sexiest man alive.
मतलब अगर जो यूके के मेयोरल इलेक्शन लंदन के मेयोरल इलेक्शंस हो रहे थे a YouTuber Max Fosh he got like a respectable amount of votes. Another YouTuber Nico Omilana won a respectable amount of votes. Nico actually overtook political parties in his votes. ठीक है मतलब Reclaim पार्टी जो थी लॉरेंस फॉक्स की मैक्स फॉश उसका मैक्स फॉश की पूरी कैंपेन ये थी कि आई एम गोना गेट मोर वोट देन लॉरेंस फॉक्स ठीक है एंड मैक्स ने अपनी कैंपेन शुरू की. A few days later Nico Milana says I'm starting my own campaign for London mayor and he got a pretty respectable chunk of votes and overtook the Reclaim party as well and other parties and independent people.
I saw
And
that.
there were like 19 candidates. 19 candidates for.
That's what a free democracy looks like. Unlike.
YouTubers literally getting way too much power.
Anyways, we wanted to talk about the stuff going on with Malala.
Yeah.
It really pissed all of us off, and in wild rage, we're gonna be showing you guys our wild rage. Umama, you go first.
Like,
Show them your
okay,
true colors.
just like we're gonna show you guys wild rage.
Go.
Umama,
Go.
you go first.
Of course, if I'm talking
I
about wild
do
rage.
not get like why people are putting her on so much on a pedestal.
Okay, so
She's literally
first
a funny
let's explain what actually happened. So, wait, what actually happened though?
Acha, basically, this is my time now. Okay, what happened was कि we all know कि Malala ने वो के साथ एक इंटरव्यू किया था ठीक है and I have that interview right in front of me now. So उसने उसमें कुछ अल्फाज कहे जो कि लोगों को बहुत बुरे लगे, लोगों को बहुत अनपाकिस्तानी लगे ठीक है. So the exact जैसे words were, this is the scene के the interviewer they're walking around in London and they're talking with Malala. So Malala says that I still don't understand why people have to get married. If you want to have a person in your life, why do you have to sign marriage papers? Why can't it just be a partnership? Okay. So uh, that's her dialogue, and because of this statement, people are going haywire. Okay.
What pissed me
Now,
off initially was the fact that some people raised it in the KP assembly.
yes,
Yeah,
Khyber
that
KP is a province in Pakistan.
Khyber
Every
Pakhtunkhwa.
province has its own assembly, and they raised what Malala's opinion on marriages in an actual assembly.
And and
मतलब
they
और आप
like
इससे
want to
देखो
appeal to
कि
her dad to like explain her
Why are you talking to her dad
remarks.
about her
why
opinions, first of all?
Yeah, she's a 21-year-old.
she's
Just
an
like
adult.
if first of all, like if you want to ask for a clarification, like that's in air quotes clarification of her opinions, like she's a 21-year-old. You can ask her that. First of all, why are you like why is the national like the provincial assembly discussing
Or
about opinions of one individual? It doesn't matter if she's like a celebrity or like a public figure, but seriously, why is the provincial assembly
और मुझे
doing
ऐसा
that?
होता
Do
है
you guys not
sometimes
have
like
anything better to do?
government in Pakistan does stuff like इससे पहले they banned PUBG and I was like oh my god कोरोना वायरस चला गया मईशत नंबर 1 हो गई कश्मीर फतह हो गया फलस्तीन फतह हो गया और अब PUBG बैन होगा
Like
Uh,
I seriously do
दिमाग
not
खराब
get
है
the
क्या तुम्हारा
priorities. I do not get
अच्छा
the
हम एक
priorities.
और
Seriously,
इसी
your
तरह का केस
province
आया
is
था
going. Hmm?
इसी तरह का एक और जो केस आया था सिंध असेंबली में जो सिंध की
oh my
प्रोविंशियल
god
असेंबली है उसमें जो एक एमपीए साहब ने एक ड्राफ्ट बिल व्हिच आई थैंक टू लॉर्ड इट वाज अ ड्राफ्ट बिल एंड डिड नॉट एक्चुअली गेट पास्ड और टेबल्ड के
by the
18
way
साल
this
की
was
उम्र
an
पे शादी
MMA
हाँ
MPA so MMA is like the far right party in
या
Pakistan and in Sindh they don't have much power so it makes sense that it
या
didn't
वो यूजुअली
go in.
कोalition गवर्नमेंट से वो काम चलाते
Yeah
हैं सो द बिल प्रपोज्ड के 18 साल की उम्र पे शादी कंपलसरी कर दी जाए और
Yeah, seriously, people are dying. The coronavirus situation is out of control in Sindh, and these people have nothing better to do but like go ahead. Oh,
be
yeah, it's a
obsessed with
pretty
marriage
nice day to like control people's lives and like their ability to get married. Like,
I was
how do you get the audacity to like go like, yeah, we're gonna put an age limit on how you can get people married, and then we're gonna put a fine if you don't get your child married by that. What is wrong with
मतलब
these
उस
people?
पे जो मैंने
And like seriously,
मैंने
it's
आई रेड क्वाइट अ फ्यू आर्टिकल्स ऑन दिस और उस
Mhm,
बंदे ने जो अपनी रीजनिंग उसने बताई वो ये था कि we see a lot
mhm.
of cases of sexual assault and rape that's why if we get people married these cases will go down
so marital
Oh yeah,
rape
like married men
yeah
never like assault
exactly
anyone. Wow, like married women are never assaulted. Yes, yes, that's the perfect path
एक
to
बात
go,
बताऊं
isn't it?
पाकिस्तान में ये अक्सर बुढ़े लोग बोलते हैं जो और उनका मतलब कुछ और होता है हियर्स व्हाट आई थिंक पाकिस्तान में तरबियत नहीं है लड़कों की तरबियत नहीं है पेरेंट्स डोंट टीच the boys in the family how to respect women and then they expect stuff like marriage is going to fix
exactly
Yeah,
depravity in society
yeah.
इस पे
उल्टा ऑपोजिट होता है लाइक लिटरली फ्रॉम लाइक 10 साल के 8 साल के बच्चों को you're teaching them entitlement. हाँ तुम लड़के हो you can do this. नहीं वो लड़की है she can't do that. And oh you're doing this like a लड़की हो तुम लड़कियों की तरह रो रहे and what not. And they're like literally teaching them entitlement from like a young age. And then they expect okay, oh, they're gonna grow up and be respectable citizens. No, they're not. You made them entitled. You made them like feel like their actions are going to have no consequences and they can get away with everything because you favored them from like such a young age that
and
they'd have
honestly
इस
no
acha,
पे
sense of
I don't believe
accountability.
in influencer things like I don't like talking about like influence I don't believe that influencers should have that much power and I don't think they do so when we cancel influencers for being racist and whatever doesn't make a difference no one's actually saying that, oh we're going to be racist because David Dobrik says I mean उसकी तो अलग कहानी है लेकिन मैं ऐसे एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ लेकिन पाकिस्तान में we have an influencer who has immeasurable power that's Imran Khan if Imran Khan were to say on the eve of the Lahore motorway incident, where a mother was raped in front of her children on the motorway, if he would have said, we need to teach our boys how to respect women. Instead, he didn't say anything at that time. He ignored it. He tried to shove it under a rug. Shove it under a rug? क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Shove it under a carpet? Whatever.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. And then he came out like 2-3 months later in an interview. He said, आजकल के ड्रामे ये लोग बाहर के देखते हैं, इंडिया के गाने सुनते हैं और लड़कियां मॉडेस्टी से नहीं ड्रेस करती ये. तो अब वो आपका वजीर आजम बोल रहा है. पहले तो वजीर आजम, देयर इज अ थिंग कॉल्ड इन पॉलिटिक्स बुली पुलपिट. इट्स कॉल्ड it's a feature of power of an office, and it's not a real thing. It's not in the constitution or anything, but essentially idea bully pulpit का ये है कि मैं जब कुछ बोलता हूँ तो मेरी बात सब सुनते हैं. वजीर आजम जब कुछ बोलता है तो सब वजीर आजम की बात सुनते हैं. तो just with that there's so much influence.
I have like two points. First of all, like I get it that influencers do not have that much like power, but they're still public figures, and even though like getting like seeing them get cancelled is not gonna make someone who is like them feel like, oh, I'm not gonna do this anymore. But if they do not get cancelled and then they're getting away with everything, someone who's doing the same behavior will feel like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna get cancelled, I'm not gonna have any repercussions for it. So that's one thing. And second, seriously, Imran Khan, it's not even about prime minister anymore. Imran Khan ke saath, it's a personality cult. So yeah, people are gonna blindly follow him. And the thing is, he knows the influence he has. But seriously, he has been the biggest disappointment. See, his response to the Hazara community issue, his response to the motorway case, it's seriously disappointing because he has the influence to like make a change in the public opinion, and that's a very rare thing.
एक बात बताऊं,
never
have your parents or if your like adults in your family have ever said, oh, Imran Khan isn't a politician, वो सियासतदान जैसा नहीं है, दूसरे सियासतदानों जैसा नहीं है. He knows that if he says something on this stuff, if he actually tells people his actual beliefs on these things, the people who voted for him, like Clifton Defense, privileged middle class people who don't understand the struggles of the working class, if they know the kinds of beliefs Imran Khan has, they won't vote for him. Because those are the people who, jinka mindset, even though privileged, even though super elite, they still think कि sexist नहीं होना चाहिए बंदा, racist नहीं होना चाहिए बंदा, extreme fundamentalist नहीं होना चाहिए बंदा. And that's what they thought about Imran Khan. And if he starts to explain his actual beliefs, those people will just go away.
Yeah, I think this actually full circle पे अगर हम करें, this very much defines how we look at politics and celebrity in general. कि अभी हम जैसे मलाला की बात कर रहे थे, ठीक है, people are targeting her, people are targeting के ओ अच्छा इसने ये कहा, इसने गलत कहा, people are saying ये खुद ही गलत है, इसकी existence पे ही लोग चले जाते हैं.
हाँ अभी
but the thing with that is Malala is not a politician. सही है, Imran Khan is a politician and he knows that all his opinions are going to be dissected and whatnot, and even if he takes one side or the other, he'll lose followers anyway. But the thing about Imran Khan that made him so popular was he wasn't afraid to make his opinions public before his election, like that is.
I'm going to read from this article because it's so like accurate, and it I think everyone's going to be able to relate to it. So this is an article in Images, जो Dawn की जो वो pop culture वाली चीज़ है. It's the headline reads, Malala's crime is not her opinions on marriage, it's surviving and thriving. So again about like it's not hating her opinions, it's hating her existence.
I don't think ये हमारे पास अगर history में देखें कि we have had people who did wonderful things for this country and they sacrificed their lives for this country. ठीक है, they have been immortalized. ठीक है, but people who but there are certain people के they are doing this for the country, अभी वो जिंदा है और वो क्योंकि हयात है और तो लोग उन्हें मतलब ऑपोजिशन दिखा रहे हैं, लोग कह रहे हैं नहीं हम तुम ऐसे तुम वैसे.
जलती है आवाम, jealous
Yeah,
आवाम है.
seriously, the thing is
Exactly.
it's so popular in our country to like immortalize people if they die doing something good, but if they live on and then they're getting like the benefits of doing that one good thing, they're gonna start hating on them.
Yeah.
And I seriously do not understand this. Why?
Okay, so the
Malala.
article says Malala Yousafzai is an extremely unique and supremely distinguished in much of what she has done in her life, where she is an average 23-year-old college graduate when it comes to her ideas of companionship. After all, she is a woman in her early 20s. Her ideas of romance and lifelong commitments are only developing. That happens sometimes. Ideas develop if they are given space to breathe and environment to flourish, of course. The rest of our lives is a negotiation and renegotiations with those ideas. After all, that is the point of the brain, I imagine, to work. In Pakistan, that rarely happens. Ideas are squashed even before they are taking shape, and independent thought is actively discouraged. Here, Log Kya Kahenge has achieved national motto status. Teenage marriages are justified through जितने जल्दी शादी हो जाए लड़कियां उतनी आसानी से मोल्ड हो जाती हैं. And any argument against convention is met with एक तो किताबें क्या पढ़ ली खुद को हमसे ज्यादा समझदार समझने लगे हैं.
I think
ये
this beautifully
पाकिस्तानी
sums
ये
up
जो था ना पाकिस्तानी मेंटालिटी डब्बे में डाल के एकदम पिक्चर लगा दो फ्रेम करके रख दें. इससे ज्यादा कोई है ही नहीं.
Seriously,
Perfectly described किया.
truer words could not have been said. Seriously, this is so true. And we were studying about it in behavioral sciences. It's in which we were studying about how in our adolescent years, post puberty, we're developing our individualities and ability to individual thinking and living, and how in Desi culture it's actively squashed at every step, so that people essentially become sheep and they just inherit their views from the
Ideas
older
की कोई
generations.
मतलब
And how
मेरी उम्र उमामा हमारी उम्र के लोग thinking having these ideas about like don't एक सेकंड के लिए सोचो तो सही बैठ के सोचो क्या are you gonna believe things that people just tell you and just go with it? You're young, you have so much time, you're so educated. Young people have like a ridiculous difference in literacy rate, right? पहले like 50 लोग हैं, like 50 out of 100 are educated. Young people are like 80 out of 100 or something. So young people have more. It might be ageist to say that, but I don't give a fuck. Young people are smarter. Young people are better. Young people in
Young people
Pakistan
are
is going to
more
be the
suited
best
to the
generation
current
Pakistan
I'm
has
not
ever
saying,
seen.
I would like to disagree. Like, it's not that young people are smarter or better. It's just young people are living in that current situation,
Yes.
and they're more aware about the current situation. And you need to
And
give
does
them
that
the
not make
benefit
us
of the
better?
doubt.
Does that not make us better? Because these people
makes
were
us
these
better
people
for the
that
situation.
the generation that I'm talking about was living in a time where they were seeing these things happen. They saw Zia come and they saw him support all of those fundamentalists. They saw all of those corrupt people come and they didn't do anything about it. They saw Musharraf take power and said कि ओ हाँ ये तो अच्छा करेगा वो करेगा. Blindly believe करो. जो ये नहीं देखते हिस्ट्री में कि कितनी दफा ऐसे लोग आए हैं और उन्होंने कितनी दफा बर्बाद किया है पाकिस्तान. अयूब
Yeah,
खान आया था
because the
पाकिस्तान
thing
तोड़ के
is,
गया था.
no, the thing is
बाकी
with the thing with this is that in that time people did not have access to the resources to develop their own thinking like that. Unki nazar mein, they just saw that during that military dictatorship, they just saw that everything was fine because they did not have any information of what was going on, because military dictatorship is equals to censorship, and they were just living in a bubble. And as soon as the military dictator left and all the fallout of those years of military dictatorship came, and then people just associated it with the move back to democracy.
Abhi we're
But
living
now
we're living in a
resources to,
hybrid
like,
system.
know.
Abhi we're living in a hybrid system.
Yeah.
Do we not know? Are we not aware of everything that's going on
No, the thing
behind the
is,
scenes?
it's
We're not
very
aware of a
different
lot of
because we
things.
have access to the internet. Then
But
we have
okay,
they
yeah.
can't at least Pakistan can't censor a lot of internet based stuff.
अच्छा सही है
So we have access
We
to
know.
that, and we are aware of everything that's wrong, and we have like access to the resources to form our own opinions. And I'm not defending their thinking. I'm just like saying that was one thing, and apart from that, they did not make active efforts a lot. But with
exactly,
this
that's what I'm saying.
generation,
They didn't make an active effort to do anything about these things. They saw stuff being wrong, and they said, I'm gonna be selfish and make sure that मेरा घर साफ है, कचरा बाहर फेंक दो बस सड़क पे. वो वाली मेंटालिटी है. तो वो मेंटालिटी जो है ना, उसमें पाकिस्तान अगर हमारी जनरेशन वैसी होती ना, तो आई वुड से we're not going to survive 100 years of independence. That's not how countries work.
इसमें हमारी एक यही कि we did not learn how to progress. Even जब पाकिस्तान की इंसेप्शन हुई, ठीक है, आपके पास उससे पहले जब ब्रिटिश रूल था, तो ब्रिटिश ने जब आए थे और तो प्रॉपर्ली कंट्रोल, उनको स्किल्ड वर्कर्स चाहिए थे अपनी फैक्ट्रीज वगैरह में काम करने के लिए, तो दे सेट अप स्कूल्स हियर, ठीक है. और द रीजन व्हाई एट दैट टाइम द हिंदू पॉपुलेशन progressed was as the British built up schools to teach Western education, to teach science and English and maths and etc., which was needed at time for work. The majority of the Hindu population said, okay, we're going to do this now if we're going to progress, ठीक है. लेकिन उस वक्त आपके वेस्ट बंगाल के इतने सारे जो उलमा थे, उन्होंने फतवा दे दिया कि नहीं, उसमें अगर आप जाएंगे तो ये हराम है और हम तो अपने मदरसों वगैरह में करेंगे काम.
I don't think it's a good idea to take a page from my propaganda history and say that all Hindus believed like that. I think it's just that
there was a stark difference in population of.
What I get
think
what
Islam and Hinduism is a different are different. Muslim and Hindu societies are different in that Hindu societies में कोई unified वो नहीं है. In Pakistan, in Muslim societies, there's like a group of ulama who can come together and they decide if something is right or wrong, right?
And even in those times, it wasn't
right
that
now, but
all
Hindus
were accepting it. A lot of Hindus weren't. It was just like most, even like some Muslims were, but mostly it was a consensus that most Muslims were not. And that's seriously what's happening like these days again. Like the same.
कि आपकी ना लोगों में वो क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग नहीं है, लोगों ने शुरू से सीखा नहीं है. अब
अच्छा, और अगर हम क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग करेंगे ना,
मुझे एक चीज पता चली कि I know someone who went to a very reputable engineering university in Pakistan, ठीक है, and their final year engineering में at the end of your degree you have a final year project, you have to physically build something to show this is what I built, ठीक है. Now what he built was a windmill, ठीक है. So now अच्छा was a windmill to generate electricity, ठीक है, okay, which is like he built a proper working windmill, that's great. But उसी time में I was watching a video by this YouTuber Tom Stanton, ठीक है, and he built a kinetic energy recovery system for a cycle, ठीक है. And during his research और उसको सब दिखा रहा था, there were students at an Indian university who built a kinetic energy recovery system. So basically windmill हम वही चीजें जो हम स्कूल वगैरह में बनाते हैं. The first time I heard about a kinetic energy recovery system or KERS is from Formula 1. It's basically a mechanism के अगर मेरी गाड़ी slow down हो रही है, it's going to recoup that energy of it slowing down, store it in a flywheel or a battery, and use that energy again to move to accelerate the object with better efficiency.
So basically it's just using that heat energy that's generated from
the mechanical energy, the kinetic energy, ठीक है. तो डिफरेंस ये कि आप उनका लेवल देखो कि हमने क्लास 4-5 में विंडमिल्स के मॉडल बनाए, यूनिवर्सिटी में भी वी स्टक एट विंडमिल. अब जहाँ पे प्रोग्रेस हो रही है उनका आप लेवल देखो कि they're thinking about that technology. And of course they're going to get better jobs, they're going to excel more than us.
पाकिस्तान में जो ना सोचने की और सीखने की एबिलिटी मार दी है ना, बंदा अच्छा देखो पूरी लाइफ में जो है ना, लाइफ इज अबाउट चेंज and you cannot survive change without learning. And so if you stop learning, in my opinion at least, you're essentially dead.
Yeah.
In essence,
apart from
you're
that,
dead.
like no nation can progress and no nation can exist without
Nation ki bhi chhod
adapting.
do at an individual level. You always have to be open to learning. Now, I've seen people who are like just generalizing. Everyone over 40 just thinks that they're done. अब मुझे कुछ कोई सिखा नहीं सकता, मैं सबसे बड़ा हूँ, मेरी सब रिस्पेक्ट करें. तो कभी
Yeah,
गलती
seriously,
एडमिट नहीं करनी, कभी कुछ नया
that's
सीखना
very
नहीं है.
common. Yeah, it's not even about respect and whatnot. It's just about, even if they know they're wrong in an argument, they will actively try to squash you by saying, no, you're just and their argument is like, you're being disrespectful. What even? I'm just telling you something that you're wrong about. Just acknowledge that.
पहले तो एक बात
And
हूँ,
that
I
way
do
just
feel
squashing like any like hope for progress, because they're not like admitting they're wrong and allowing that other person to develop their own thoughts. They're like,
Mama,
oh, okay, theek hai.
yeah, so I do feel that we, at least I, in my case, and I feel like, I don't know if you'll agree with me, let me know. We don't know how to argue with adults. I do understand, like, after I'm done arguing with adults, I understand that might have been, even just at a human level, that was not the right way to talk to someone, any other human, regardless of age or anything else.
Yeah,
वो
the
सीखा
thing
ही नहीं
is
हमने,
that
क्योंकि हम जब कहते हैं ना कि फ्री थॉट है हमारी, हमने आर्ग्यू करना है, तो वो हमने सीखा नहीं कभी ना. अभी we're just talking out of anger, we're bursting out. We didn't learn how to argue and debate our thoughts. Like maybe you guys
I
did.
used to do that
I
a
wasn't
lot,
in
like
debate.
in which I would just get angry and like not try to
Exactly.
get my
And
point
it
across.
does get
But
pissed off.
then the thing is that by then, like I try, because some people were like, no, you're not supposed to argue like that, and you're not supposed to debate with anyone like that. That way, you're not getting a point across. And then I try to adapt to that. Like I'm just talking about, I'm not talking about all adults. I'm just talking about like adults in my family. And when I try to like debate with them on like the most casual issues like politics, वगैरह, and they just like bilkul calmly, and I'm just trying to like know their opinion, and they just counter it like one by one, and that's like how you're supposed to get your point across.
And by the way,
Like,
they're
in a
more
human way.
disrespectful to us. I just feel like if I learned how to be smart in the way I'm conveying my arguments, I would be better equipped to try and maybe change their mind. I feel like I'm obligated to try and do that, because
one thing जो मैंने अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस में देखी है ना कि like there was, अब घर में मेरे अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह my parents did let me talk and things like that, but one of the main, school में भी मुझसे जैसे लोग इतने बात नहीं करते और टीचर्स आपको बोलते फ्री थॉट इतना नहीं. The reason why I actually started MENs or debates, I started loving them so much, वो ये था कि a person is being made to sit down, shut up and listen to me talk. ठीक है, and I can speak my mind.
I wanted to do that.
वो चीज I love that so much. That's why I spent 4-5 years from grade 8 till A2 doing that. ठीक है. So you could say I'm an experienced debater. ठीक है. I've won awards and stuff. I've led teams and stuff. मैं वहां पे जीत सकता हूँ एक moderated environment में. मैं अपने घर में बैठ के मैं अपने माँ बाप से अब आज तक भी मैं कोई सही अपना point across नहीं ले जा सकता. क्योंकि वो वही है कि
that's exactly what I was saying.
biases और
With
prejudices जो
MENs
पहले
and
से
stuff,
हैं कैसे तोड़ोगे? वो जो biases और prejudices
अच्छा,
और पहले से सोच के रखा हुआ है उसको तोड़ना ही नहीं है किसी ने.
Was in someone in my family said something about I was मेरे बाल बहुत लंबे हो रहे हैं ना, तो I work at where I work. Some guy came in with like long hair and he had like चोटी बनी हुई थी, proper चोटी, और फिर ऐसे वो जो बांध के करते हैं ना दोनों तरफ से. तो मैं कह रहा था मैं वैसे बात करूंगा मजाक में. तो someone in my family said, ओ तो वो काला होगा ना. So I was like immediately so now that I'm here and I've learned everything. पहले भी मुझे पता था that's wrong. अब मुझे और भी ज़्यादा पता है why that's wrong. तो मैंने immediately not even missing a beat, I said that is absolutely गलत बोलने, like ना बोला करे वैसे. So he said, हाँ तो मैं कुछ ऐसे नहीं बोल रहा, मैं तो सिर्फ हमारे आपस में ऐसा
Yeah,
आपस
because
में भी
like
क्यों
racism is
बोल
cool
रहे
when you
हो?
talk it among
आपस में भी
yourselves.
क्यों आपस में भी क्यों it's not even it's that I'm gonna do something wrong and I'm gonna get away with it because that's the way it is. I'm not gonna pay my taxes. I'm not gonna follow the rules here. I'm gonna be disgusting as fuck, sexist as fuck, racist as fuck, and I'm gonna get away with it because that's just the way I've lived my life. And unwilling to change, unwilling to मेरे perspective से being racist and being sexist isn't wrong because गोरे लोग कहते हैं. It's wrong because Islam कहता है. Just go and read the Prophet's last sermon, and it's
But
like
the
a
thing is,
full
कि,
way of how to live
people,
life.
like the thing is that people can quote Islam and whatnot all they want, but we being like Muslims by birth, and most of our like adults being Muslim by birth, they've not like researched into Islam and read things about Islam that much, and then they just quote
We take it
wohi
for granted.
cherry picked lines
Yeah.
all the time because that benefits them. And when
अगर
you bring
चेरी
up,
पिक कर
oh
रहे हैं
no,
ना,
like
नहीं मैं एक बात हूँ, अगर चेरी पिक करना है ना, प्रॉफिट का लास्ट sermon जो है ना, sermon
sermon.
cherry pick that all you want because there is no part in that is wrong. There is no part in that is wrong. That is a charter of human rights, and every Pakistani at least should हिफ्स कर लो, कुरान के साथ हिफ्स कर लो सर, मेरे ओपिनियन में.
Yeah, to be honest, that's a really good opinion. But the thing is, I was saying it is just because the other day I was talking to someone, I would not name them, about क्या कहते हैं कि the rights of women to work, and they were just quoting again and again कि oh, the women should not go out of their house after Maghrib and whatnot, and unless they have like a problem where their husband or someone else cannot provide for them, they should not work. And I'm like, seriously, like from grade like 5 6 we've studied about the life of Hazrat Khadija, and she was the first wife of Prophet Muhammad. She was like an example for us, and she was a trader and she was a businesswoman. And we talk about
She
Hazrat
was a
Aisha, and
businesswoman and one of the
But also-
top businesswomen at the time.
It's also that we
Exactly.
forget कि कॉन्टेक्स्ट भी था. ये कोई फेरी टेल नहीं है जो हम चीजें पढ़ते हैं ना. इट्स नॉट अ फेरी टेल, इट्स एक्चुअल हिस्ट्री. थिंग्स एक्चुअली हैपेंड जो हिस्ट्री हम पढ़ते हैं. इट्स नॉट समथिंग इन अ like बहुत सारे दूसरे religions में stuff sounds like fairy tales. In our things, in the lessons that they teach us, it's like real life stuff. They were human beings. तो उस जमाने में हम कॉन्टेक्स्ट भूल जाते थे कि मगरिब के बाद नहीं निकलना. तो उस जमाने में स्ट्रीट लाइट्स नहीं होती थी. उस जमाने में पुलिस का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं था. अगर काम करने वाली चीज है, उस जमाने में इतनी प्रोटेक्शंस जो विमेन को हम दे सकते हैं, वो उस जमाने में नहीं थी. उस जमाने में it was impossible to work as a mother. Now we have childcare, we have so many other things that can help them work. So context दिमाग में रखने की बात है.
Like a lot of us like know our religion from what we inherited, and from what we rectified for our Islamiyat papers, because we being like inborn Muslims, we've never like gone out and actively tried to understand our religion and understand the context, and that's like fundamentally wrong, because we like literally use a religion to like justify everything we do. So if you're gonna do that, at least like get educated about it.
By the way,
if you're
all things
not
being
aware
said,
about the context of the religion, why are you using it to justify everything? And that's my main issue with Pakistani politics, using religion to defend everything. Because
same.
seriously, that guy वो 18 से ऊपर marriage अगर किसी ने की तो we're gonna divorce them. Has he like done his research about this? Because
I don't think
like,
it was 18 से ऊपर
in
तो
the
we're
older
gonna
times,
it
he was like,
was के 18
पे शादी कर लो.
Yeah, 18 से पहले शादी अगर नहीं करवाई, so you're gonna pay fines every year. And like, do not come after me for saying that, because कि नहीं, it was like 500 वाला fine. I'm not. It doesn't matter what fine, because it's gonna disproportionately affect poor people, और खास तौर पे considering Sindh की population में, and especially amongst the poor people, child marriages is a prevalent issue. They really needed to like just open one article about it and educate themselves, and they did not.
all
Back to my point,
yeah,
getting back to my point, he was like, because पहले ज़माने में this like rape वाला issue इतना नहीं होता था, because they use like Islam के हिसाब से like get married early.
अच्छा एक चीज बताऊं, मैंने एक बुक पढ़ी थी, उसमें बता रहे थे कि पुराने जमाने में डिवोर्स कम होते थे, ये होता था, तो पुराने जमाने में women फ्री भी नहीं थी. पुराने जमाने में उनको और भी ज्यादा मैरिटल रेप होता था, और भी ज्यादा हरासमेंट होती थी, और भी ज्यादा.
वहाँ पे उस जमाने में अगर औरत आवाज उठाती थी तो उसको मारते थे.
ओ पुराने जमाने में तो इट वाज ऑल गुड, और अब इस जमाने की वुमेन ना, उनको ज्यादा आजादी मिल गई है, एंड दे जस्ट लाइक स्प्रेडिंग फहाशी, एंड आई एम लाइक नो
वो आपकी मेंटालिटी है.
इस जमाने में दे नो कि दे वोंट बी लाइक आउटराइट किल्ड इफ दे गेट डिवोर्स्ड.
लेकिन
पुराने जमाने में that was a like constant practice. If you get divorced or something, you were a burden, you couldn't survive, so you were just killed, or you killed your own self.
लेकिन
women have
but just for me at least, I don't know about you guys, but all things being said, I do recognize that I living in Pakistan was a privileged person. Now I'm living overseas, and in my जब मैं पाकिस्तान में था तब भी मैं मानता था कि overseas Pakistanis are completely disconnected and they shouldn't have any opinion on Pakistani politics, and so I don't like the idea of overseas Pakistanis voting either. Just saying, putting that out there. तो I think मेरे opinions इस पूरे debate में हट जाना चाहिए. Like इस conversation में मेरे जो भी opinions है हट जानी चाहिए, because we don't understand how the real working class lives and what they think, because they don't even vote, they don't participate in politics, because they see politics as a thing that's happening to them, not something that they can be a part of.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you do not vote, if you do not make your voice heard,
यार देखो उनको
obviously
पता
it's
ही
going to
नहीं
be something that is happening to you, and you're not participating in it because you're not taking the minimum opportunity that's given to you to participate.
उनके लिए पता है क्या है? It's like कि if they make their voices heard, that means they're stepping out of line, and if they step out of line, they're going to be killed. ठीक है?
And it all comes back to like lack of individual mentality and individual things.
नहीं यहाँ पे मामा मैं बोल दूं कि वो selfish नहीं हो रहे. Their livelihood, their families depends on. It's that when we say हमने हमारे पैसे बचाने हैं, हमें हमारी फैमिली बचानी है, इसका मतलब है कि हमने हमारे टैक्स नहीं पे करना और कनाडा निकल जाना है. वो जब कहते हैं हमें हमारी फैमिली बचानी है, हमें हमारे जॉब बचानी है, मतलब मैं कल खाना रखने की मेरी एबिलिटी और मेरे बच्चे स्कूल जा सकते हैं कि नहीं, वो बचा रहा हूँ. तो if they're being selfish, the working class has a right to be selfish right now, the way Pakistan is. The middle class doesn't have a right to be selfish.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they do not have a right to be selfish.
वैसे आज के बाद वर्किंग क्लास को मजदूरी तबका कहते हैं. बड़ा मजा आता है उर्दू बोलने में. मजदूर किसान.
I'm not. I wasn't saying that the working class does not have the right to be selfish or whatnot. I'm just saying that if you do not participate in a democracy, then obviously your opinions are not gonna be heard. Obviously your demands and your needs are not going to be like taken care of. And I understand why they can't vote. Because यहाँ पे ना
ये बात बताओ कि भाई अगर वो बंदा है, ठीक है, तो इट्स आइदर कि ये, क्योंकि ये लिजिट लोगों के साथ हो रहा होता है कि वो आपके ना गांव कबाइल में तो वगैरह ज्यादा होता है कि आप उधर का जो वटेरा होता है, फ्यूडल लॉर्ड होता है, वो आपको कहता है कि
if you do not vote as the same person, they're voting for you, literally gonna be killed. Yeah, that's
तो अब ये देखो कि या तो मैं अपनी जिंदगी बचा लूं, ठीक है, या मैं है ना जमहूरियत देख लूं.
My opinion does not apply to those people at all, because that's another issue altogether, and that's a very horrendous.
We should talk about that in some other episode because we are running out of time. ये कितना मजा आया ना, मलाला से स्टार्ट किया और वर्किंग क्लास पे आ गए हम, खत्म हुए. Actually it all जो पाकिस्तानी मेंटालिटी है, ये मलाला वाले किस्से से it's an example of how what's wrong in our society right now. or
Yeah,
if
the
we
thing
talk
is कि
about it,
even
maybe
though
we
like the
can
Malala
try
wala
and get
issue,
rid of it.
nahi, the thing is कि wrapping this all up, even though the Malala wala issue and our voter suppression kind of, in a way, voter suppression and वो मजदूरी तबका वाला issue, it all comes back to how in our society has like actively tried to suppress individual opinions. And जैसे कि because even the मजदूरी वाला तक का issue, they can't express their opinion because they have to live. Malala वाला issue में like she can't, she's literally been bashed upon like expressing her opinion.
Malala तो she's an elite like a different like herself a privileged person, and she recognizes that, and she just probably didn't expect. मजदूर किसान तबका तो हर चीज में they're just हर उसमें उनकी ही लगती है. रुपी डिवैल्यू हो रहा है, ओ हमारी इकोनॉमिक्स की टीचर्स बोलते थे कि ये तो एक्सपोर्ट्स होंगे, वो होंगे, इनका फर्टिलाइजर महंगा हो गया, ये अब जो सब्सिस्टेंस फार्मिंग करते थे अपने फैमिली को नहीं फीड कर पा रहे वो.
Yeah,
जो
like
किसान
my
जो
dad
मजदूर ये
always
जो सारा
says कि like
किया है इन्होंने,
गवर्नमेंट आए कुछ भी हो पाकिस्तान में, it's always the मजदूर तबका जिनको they're suppressing, जिनका like जीना हराम किया हुआ है गवर्नमेंट ने.
फिस्कल ऑस्टेरिटी ऑलवेज इज लाइक इधर से निकालेंगे पैसा, मजदूरी तबके से निकालेंगे. अमीर लोग अपनी फैक्ट्री में भले उनको कोकोमो बना दे रहे हैं, वो जो भी करना है उनको करें, कोको के पैकेट में 3 कोकोमो डालें और अपना प्रॉफिट डबल कर लें. लेंगे हम
Yeah,
पैसे
the thing
यहीं
is with privileged people, you always have another way out. But with like the working class, they're just struggling every day to survive. They're just grasping at straws normally. और फिर उसके ऊपर when they're suppressed, और जब उनके ऊपर से सारा बोझ उनके ऊपर ही डाल देंगे, उनके पास जो एक लाइफलाइन थी, वो literally suffocating that. They do not have an alternative. They can't just like, oh ठीक है, आज हम ये चीज कम करके ये चीज बढ़ा देंगे and that would be fine.
Yeah.
Closing
Yeah,
remarks.
anyways, like
All this off. एक चीज मैं कहूँ, I've seen this on ये क्या कहेगा काजी अकबर की जो पॉडकास्ट है उसमें कहते हैं, और मैंने अपने काफी रिश्तेदारों को कहते हुए सुना है. आज हमने जितनी बातें की, हमने सियासत पे बातें की, हमने मजदूर तबके के मसलों के बारे में बात की, और हमने हमारे माशरे के बारे में बात की. ये सब भरे पेट की बातें. हमारे पेट भरे हुए, हमारे सर पे छत है, इसीलिए हम स्कूल जा सकते हैं, इसीलिए हमें ये है कि हाँ हम ये बैठ के बात कर सकते हैं. जिस बंदे के पास सर पे छत नहीं है, पेट में खाना नहीं है, वो कभी ये नहीं है ना ध्यान में लाएगा कि मैं इस बारे में कुछ करूं.
यार वही तो, it's just Maslow's theory of motivation के we have our survival needs met. हमारे पास खाना है, हमारे घर पे छत है, हमारे पास पानी है. That's why we can afford to like look at our safety needs, aesthetic needs, or self-actualization वाली needs. So whatever opinions we have about like politics and whatnot, we cannot blame the working class for it. सारा जो मसले खड़े करे हुए, it's all like high class, वो higher upper class वाले लोग, because they can actually afford to do that and they have like created the problems. इसमें मजदूर तबके का कोई भी वो नहीं है. And in a way, हमारे parents वगैरह को भी like जिया वाले time पे and dictators वाले time पे, they were like struggling to meet the survival needs. क्योंकि if you say anything, you're just gonna go to jail and like आप गायब हो जाएंगे, आपकी बोरी बन जाएगी. So they couldn't afford to like speak out. We can because we know कि हम लोगों को कोई उठाकर नहीं ले जाएगा. We know we have like freedom of speech.
Ending on freedom of speech. I have to.
Ending on freedom of speech. Oh mama, stop speaking. अब जाना है मुझे.
वो क्या था आखिरी में, क्या बोलता था मैं? That's it for today तो बोलते नहीं थे, बस बाय कर देते थे. लेकिन
thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching. Follow us on Instagram. Likes. Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.